Hi, Kim. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
Good.
me?
Yep,
Yo,
just want to,
yo.
it's all clear. Good, good. Hi, everybody.
Okay. Vic, I just lost you. Let me hear. See.
Oh,
One sec.
let me
Hey,
test.
we're good. Yeah, we're good now.
Okay, good. I think I'm
Okay.
hitting the right buttons now.
Yeah. It takes a few seconds, right?
Yeah, really. Okay, I wanted to say hi to everybody. This is Vicki Link. I am here to host and just start things off. So for now, if you would just do me a great favor, and that is to go over to chat and say hello. At the bottom, you'll see a little chat icon there and just hit it. And to start out, just make sure you're not on hosts and panelists. You want to go to the to field and click that open and make sure you hit everyone so we can all engage and miss nothing. So hi to everybody. Hi, Adriana. Who else we got? Donna May, I know you. And who else? Priscilla. Everybody just pop in and tell me where you're from. Hi, Ellen. Nice to see you. And Denise. Lynette. Say where you're from and make sure your settings are all there. I thought this was going to be a fun topic. Truth about Kim Claver. What you don't know that could help you zoom your business. That's a good one, I think. So if you're just now popping in, say hi, Carolyn. I don't know what I'd do without you. She's here. She's just our old buddy friend. And Priscilla from Delta, Colorado. Louise from Virginia. Fiona, all the way from Australia. Our good faithful friend. So to start out, what we want to do is ask you what you believe that your biggest obstacle is. It's just driving you batty. Like, oh, I've done this for so long and I still can't get it right. And it might have been something different last year, but this year, maybe marketing's changed a little. The world's kind of a little bit more nutty. It's harder to get people to pay attention. What do you think that your biggest pain in the butt is in marketing? Just tell it. It might be three things. So maybe you can't sort it out and you might want to say three things, whatever it is, just spill it, spill your guts, put it out there and tell us what you imagine it to be. We all have big imaginations, right? And we're in the middle of all of it. Priscilla says, reaching out to people with my offer. What do you mean by that? How are you trying to reach out? Or are you frozen and not doing anything? Some people say that too. I want to reach out, but I'm thinking about it, or I'm reading a book about it. So tell us a little more about what do you mean by reach out to people with your offer? What are you doing or not doing? Thank you for saying that, though. Hey, hi, John. And Fiona, getting started. And secondly, getting her niche right. Who you can help, who you think you can help, right? Fiona, who you want to help make a difference to. Fiona says, I am frozen. Who can relate? Anybody else frozen? Tell it. It doesn't matter how hot it is outside. You're frozen, right? In your marketing. And Alan says, defining my exact target market. Plus, what else do you say? Getting enough quality folks to talk to. And Denise, finding the people who want what I have. Yeah, the sifting and sorting, right? It's got a little bit tricky. Who else? Lay it on the table. If you think up a couple other things, pop it in. And then I'll have another question for you. Adriana, not having enough qualified leads that actually convert, and she's having difficulty having people follow through on their word. Now, I actually think that's a good one. So there's a lot of good ones here, but just to highlight that, that's an unusual comment. When you get people that say, hey, I'm going to do whatever tonight. When I get home from work, I will go and order that thing that you just spoke to me about. And then they're not there. Is that what you mean, Adriana? They aren't there. Or tomorrow I get paid and I'm going to come back and I'm going to enroll. Anybody have that problem? Okay, just trying to make it more of a story so people can relate to that. Anybody not have that problem? If you're not talking to anybody, you're frozen, you won't know that problem. But that happens. And Louise, she says, I'll admit it. All right, anybody else want to pop some stuff in before Kim does a reveal? I want to hear about this thing that she's going to talk about tonight. So while you're thinking and putting a few more thoughts in there, if you think, not if you think, if you could overcome the thing that you imagine is the problem, what do you believe that you could achieve in the next 12 months financially, given where you are? So if you're at zero, don't say $1 million. If you're making 1,000 a month, then realistically, how do you think getting rid of that problem could cause you to actually surprise yourself by earning a consistent income in 12 months? So tell us what that is. And everybody's different. Some people want to work 10 hours a week. Some people are raising kids and they just want some side income. Some want to go badass and be 7 figures in 2 years or 12 months, whatever that might be. So even though you're right, Adriana, the sky can be the limit, an obstacle can kill you, right? One that you just keep going around 365 days a year, wondering what happened to me. Fiona, I think I could get to a consistent 1,500 a week. That's nice. That's realistic. And I want to go much bigger. And of course, it depends on how high ticket or low ticket your products are. But that's reality. Anybody else want to confess? You know, if you got rid of that obstacle, 2 or 3 of them or whatever it is, where would you want to be in 12 months that you could believe towards? Because if you don't believe it, you know, you're going to be frozen there too. There's a lot of frozen things going on. Denise, 5 to 10K a month. Do you believe it, Denise? Is that believable? Yes, okay. Don't do any dream wishing here. Do what you believe. And so while you're saying that, let's see who else is here that hasn't chimed in. So first of all, give me your biggest pain in the butt obstacle, or 2 or 3. Lynette, she says she's had her expectations and dreams smashed so many times. She feels kind of beaten up and even crushed by this question. Yeah, you and I have had some good conversations and I totally get it where you're at. So start tiny, and wherever you are, you are. If it's making 200 a month and it's something because you're like at the bottom again, starting over, even though you've done it before, Lynette, start wherever you can start. There's no grade on this. So the rest of you, if you want to chime in and put that in there, do it now. And Kim will be looking at some of these comments and we'll be talking.
Absolutely. Okay, are we ready to rock and roll?
Oh, the secret learnings. Yes, I am.
Yeah. Okay. Are you guys able? Oh, this is Kim, and let me get the video cooking here. Are you all able to see the slides? Okay. Is that all you see, Vic? Just the slides, not the rest of my desktop or anything?
Yep.
Okay. Try and get this working. Okay, and then
does
the video? Are we looking good here? Woo. Okay, cool. There we are. Oh, good. Yes. Well, you got to get yourself dialed up for these things, right? Get ready, rock and roll. Okay, so expectations. Okay, so, talking about expectations, I can tell you that there's a guy named Alex Ormosi. This is Kim Claver, by the way, and that's Vic, my partner, and we're going to be hosting this thing today and leading you through some things that might be surprises for some of you. Because we have built 6 of these companies to the top over the years, usually faster than anybody else. And we've learned certain things. And so let me ask you, if somebody has been working at something, say 4 or 5 hours a day for 10 years, do you think they would know more and know how to react better than somebody who's been working maybe 4 to 5 hours a day for a month? Would the person who's got a lot more time into it, would they know a lot more? Yes or no? Yes or no? Tell me yes. Let me see what you got. Yeah, people say, of course, but if you think about how you spend your day, how many people have you talked to today about your business? How many people have you talked to today about actually you reached out, you sent a DM, a direct message or a Facebook message or an email, or you posted something where it had something to do with getting a response about the problem that your business solves. Let me see here. Who has done that today already? Usually it should be yes, but most of the time it's not. I mean, just for those of you that are here today, who would be honest and say, I didn't really talk to anybody or present anything to anybody this week? It's now Tuesday yet about the business. Let me see. Yes or no? Yeah, I hear you. Tell me and do we have any yeses here, or is it primarily haven't done anything to anybody, right? Hey Donna, long time no see. Yeah, and what happens is we think about it. We think, oh, I should really talk to. Oh, that post person looks pretty good. Maybe I should, talk to them. And you see them going down the street or on the beach or wherever you are, but you don't do it. And so one of the things that fools us is we think about the problem, we think about our business, but we don't do the thing, what they call the money-making activities. And they're very hard to do when you're not sure what to say, what to do, when people dump on you left and right, particularly your family and friends. And so I'm going to show you some things that we learned, and particularly that I learned early on, that I thought might help you so that you are more likely to do the things that you know you need to do, and not make them so unpleasant that you don't even want to get there. Because people who succeed, how many people realize that Elon Musk blew up 4 rockets and that was almost his entire budget before he got one off the ground? How many people know that? We're not talking about losing $50. We're talking about losing $100 million. Hello, we got this. So did he quit when the first one blew up? That was, a quarter of his whole budget. You think about Steve Jobs. How many phone versions are there? It started with 1.0, and people complained so much they had to have a 1.1. And then people more complain, well, it doesn't do this and it doesn't do that. Same thing we get. So what did they do? They put more people on it. Now there's iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 4. We're now up to iPhone, what is it, 13, 14? Mm-hmm. So one thing that you want to be aware of is that it takes many iterations, many repetitions to get really good at something. Will you give me that here? Say I agree. Many repetitions, right? We forget because we look at the Steve Jobs of the world or Elon Musk and go, oh man, he's got so much money. If I had that, I wouldn't have to worry about a single thing. Well, he worried his whole way up there. But the other thing that you want to be aware of, and some of you are going to, if you're upline, you're not want to have your downline hear this, but I'm just telling you, if you really don't love what you market, if you really don't feel that strongly about it, you won't do what it takes. If any of you are a mom or a dad and you see your kid playing in the street and you see a car coming, you are, whether you are dressed in your shorts or your underwear, going to jump out of your chair, run across the sidewalk, fall if you have to onto the street to get your kid out of the way of the car. Yes or no? Is there anybody here who would not do that? Just think, oh crap, I have my underwear on. I'll let my kid get run over because I'm not going to look good in my underwear. Is anybody? You probably run naked, mm-hmm. Right? I want to be sure that we get in this. Are you with me?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Because the thing matters to you. Now, mattering like your kid's life, does your business matter like your kid's life? Well, if you believe you're called and you're born to do something special, to help people somehow, because the last thing, the people who make the most money in this world, money was not number one on their list. It was beating the status quo. Jobs thought phones were horrible, and they were. I had a Nokia, oh my God, a 500-page programming book. I took it on the plane in my bag, carry on, so I could read the whole thing, learn how to turn on the phone, right? So if you feel called to really do something, or you feel called to get rid of a problem, or you feel somehow you're here to make some kind of difference, that helps tremendously. If it's just a quick buck, you probably won't make much of anything. And why is that? Because quick bucks, there are so many people who want a quick buck that for a quick buck, you can stock shelves, $10 an hour. Do you know how many people apply for that job? 100 for every a shelf stocker, boy or girl, the people who stock the shelves at $10 an hour, $8, $9, $10 an hour. There are 100 people applying. Why? Because it's a quick buck. Quick bucks get people who will take very few dollars for the work they do because it doesn't require a lot of skill, a lot of training. Are you with me? So if you're looking for a quick buck, expect a lot of competition because there are many people who will look for a quick buck. Now, the other quick buck is to earn 100 grand for an hour. Now, how do you do that? Tell me, who earns 100,000 bucks in an hour? That's also a quick buck. What's the difference between them and somebody stocking a shelf? Who earns 100 bucks in an hour? 100,000. Let me see. What do we got here?
Public
speakers, right? Who else? And by the way, did they just wake up one day and, oh, I'm going to public speak, and they're 2 years old or whatever? First time they're going to make 100 grand? Do they make 100 grand the first day? Who else? You've had
CEOs. And Carrie, set your settings to everyone so we can see what you're saying.
Right. CEOs, I don't know if they make $100,000 in an hour, maybe some of the top ones. How about a surgeon? A surgeon who specializes in children's eyesight. They say, okay, I'll do the surgery. It's going to cost $300,000 and the insurance is going to pay $200,000. You have to kick in 100, and it's either that or your kid goes blind. And let's say the hospital costs and all the other, and the guy makes 100 grand for an hour's worth of work. Would you pay that? Yes or no? Would you pay the money to save your child's eyesight? And would you pay $100,000 for that hour? Let me see. What do we got here?
Oh, yes.
Of course you would pay. And would you complain? You're like, oh my God. But it's either that or I have a child who's going to go blind. Or you get the general practitioner who can do it for 10 grand, but there's no guarantee the kid's going to be able to see. So highly skilled people can make a lot per hour, or lowly skilled people make a lot per hour. And the question is, which one do you want to be? How good do you want to get at helping people that are out there with your product or your business on a scale of 1 to 10? Do you think trying it 2 or 3 times, is that going to make you really good? Would you hire such a person as your eye surgeon for your child? Or would you want to know that they do these eye surgeries 3 or 4 per day, hundreds of them, and they're so good they could do it in their sleep, and that's why they charge 100 grand? Who do you want to hire? Somebody who's done it 3, 4, 5 times a day for 10 years, or who's done it 3 times? Who do you want? Let me see. You don't get to be the best by not doing it. See, you got to do it. And that's how you get better. So I want to show you how some things that happened to me might help you do that. Okay, is that good? Yeah, and Lynette, for expectations, sometimes, people talk about managing expectations. And I think when you think about, I thought they were going to do it, but they didn't. The most important thing to know is the only person you can control, and the only person whose emotions you can control, whose emotions can you control? All of you that are on here, who can you control 100%? What you do and what you think and how you react. Who can you control? Let me see. What do we got, Vic?
Only me, only mine.
Only me. So change your expectations so you're not disappointed. So Lynette, it might be, well, what if it does work? What if on number 86, I get somebody who hits it out of the park? You keep doing the thing, because as you keep talking to people or DMing people or messaging people, who gets better at doing that? Who gets better? No matter how many times they say no, presumably you're improving. Who gets better when that happens? With practice. Who gets better when they hit the ball in the batting cage over and over? When they keep boxing, when they keep practicing tennis, who gets better? Let me see if you get this. Who gets better?
The one who's consistent.
Yeah. Me. You get better. And this is what it takes to earn 100 grand a minute. You have to be so good, which comes through countless doing it over and over and adjusting. I want to show you a trick today so that you become the best. Are you willing to do what it takes to become the best? Let me see before we go. Yes or no? The best product marketer, the best person at helping people solve a problem that you're very good at solving, the best person at building not an organization, but a movement. Who needs a team when you could have a movement? Why not pattern ourselves after Jesus? They did all right. Look at them. They started with 12 people. Now look. Ask Vicky. They're doing all right. Okay. All right. So secret learnings. Here we go. 3 learnings. Number 1 is real estate. I want to tell you something about an office building tour that I will, of course, never forget till this day. and have not forgotten it. And I thought, I'll dredge it up. I don't think I've told this ever because it's so bad, but here it is. Then I'm going to show you the fog and mirror. This is something else that I learned. And then the third thing is the one by one is not all there is. These are the 3 lessons. You ready to go? Tell me yes, if you're ready to rock and roll. Is anybody in the real estate business here? Commercial or residential? Anybody in the real estate business? What are they saying, Vic?
No,
No, nobody's in there? Okay, cool. All right, so I took a guy one day. I had started my real estate business and I decided to do commercial instead of residential. So commercial means office buildings, retail, in the financial district. So you have the delis, you have the fast food places. Did a lot of fast food places in my day, a lot of franchises and franchisees, and office buildings, shopping centers versus, say, homes, residential, whether they're or rehabs or flippers or where you flip the house, or beach properties. My stuff was commercial. Okay, that's what I did. So I knew, of course, I was working in the Bay Area, and I knew, of course, about office buildings, small office buildings. So there were a number of people who buy property, and I like to look for the buyers or the tenants. Instead of representing the owners, who of course paid me, I went out of my way to find people who were looking and would show them usually properties that were not available on the market that anybody knew about. I'd have scouted them out and think, that looks pretty good, that looks pretty good. Go to the owner, make a commission arrangement so there would be no signs, nobody else would know. And then I would find people that I knew were buyers based on what they had bought before, because I'd look at the papers. I'd look at the closings. Who bought stuff? These people, these people, these people. I'd contact those people, and then that's how I would make those deals. Well, in the beginning, before I got a little bit better at this, there were four properties on the market, and 4 office buildings that were small. So they were like a professional office building, the kind where you have a dentist in there and then you have a chiropractor. It's like maybe 8 or 10 different small businesses that are in there. So the prices for these buildings were between $1 million and $1.6 million per property, including with the tenants. So just remember this part. And the commission was 3.5% on average for those properties. So if you sell one, you'd make $35,000 to $56,000. Are you with me? This is for the small commercial property. Let me see if we ever got this, right? Yep, you got it. So are we there? Say yes, I see it.
yes.
So of course I figured, well, gosh, 35,000 to 56,000. That would be, you think I was excited to do the tour for these people? One sale, I'm up 35 grand. And since I own the place, it's like, boom, right? So I spent this day, now this was early, but I'm going to tell you how it was. I spent the day with this guy going through all the properties, all the financials, because they had tenants in them. So they had income. So all this stuff. And we did thorough walkthroughs, all the buildings, all the tenants' offices, all the layouts. So we had, the whole thing, and the financials, right? Namely, how much the tenants are paying, what the expenses are for the property, and what the expenses were that they were paying versus what the tenants were paying, yada, yada, yada. Anything an investor would want. So I was all prepared there. And so then at the end of the day, it took, I don't know, maybe 4 hours, something like that. And he was all excited. Oh yeah, these look really great. And I said, okay, so, you want to make an offer. Which one do you want to make an offer on? That's the next step, right? You see all these properties and you go, oh, I want to make an offer. Are you guys all with me so far? Make an offer means, there's a form I pull out and it says, whoever the person's name is, so-and-so, I'm willing to offer you $1.2 million on your $1.3 million building. And here's my deposit, and, yada, yada, yada. And I'm supposed to take it to the owner and get a counter. Are you with me? We got this, Vic? So he says, oh, no, I don't have any money. Right? So here's what happened. For those of you, if you've been in real estate for a while, has this ever happened to you? You spend, all day with somebody looking at homes, for example, or any kind of property, and they love everything. They're all excited. They get all the financials and they see the stuff and it's like, oh yeah, right. And he says, my uncle is looking, and he sends me out to scout for him. Right? So what do you think happened?
Oh yeah.
Am I going to get an offer from this guy? Yes or no? No. Why not? He doesn't have any Momo, right? Did I feel stupid? Yes or no? Would you feel stupid? What are you saying, Vic?
I've got a no and a yes. I
Okay.
would feel stupid, Donna says. Yes, Denise.
Yeah, you better feel stupid. Why? Because you spent the whole day showing somebody properties and they are completely unqualified to buy them. And he knew it going in. I didn't. But he knew that he didn't have any money. He said, I'm scouting for my uncle. He sends me out to look for him, right? Okay, so now here's a big question for you guys. Right? Carrie, right. Carrie says, you didn't vet them first. Yeah, if you could read these to me, Vic, that would save me having to go back and forth. That'd be really good. So you didn't vet them first. Okay. So when he said that, I didn't even know what to say. I smiled and said, okay, great. And I was just kind of momentarily speechless, which doesn't happen very much. But of course, the next day is, where's your uncle? Get him over here. Let's do it with somebody who can actually make a deal. Right. But what happens at that moment is the lesson learned. Did I decide I would quit because I basically wasted a whole day? Yes or no? You're going to quit?
No.
Right. But what have I learned? I've learned how to do a property tour, 4 of them. Because I did that. I have that experience. So next time, if somebody came around that was actually qualified, would I be able to do that tour probably even better than before? Yes or no? What do you guys think? Right? That's the question. There is always a lesson learned, but is it possible to make any money when somebody doesn't have any money? Is it a possibility? Yes or no? So what do? You didn't vet them, right? So what am I going to do next time anybody requests a tour? What do you think? What am I going to do? The next time anybody requests a tour, they call the office and say, okay, I'd like to look at these properties. What am I going to do next?
Adele, pre-qualify them.
Okay. Yeah. What does that mean I'm going to do? What would I do?
Check out if they have the ability to buy, Louise. Mm-hmm. Ask questions, the right kind of questions.
Right. So you think here, so here's the first lesson for this that probably will help you, I think. You have an experience of some kind and you get feedback and you have to process the feedback. What was my experience? I took a guy on a tour. So that was good. So that part was good. Him calling and saying, hey, can I see these? That was good because our office got to do it. I did it because it was one of my first things I ever did. Never did that again, but I did that. So I had an experience. Part of it was good. Getting the call, that was good. Taking the guy and knowing, because I had pre-planned the route that I would take to go to all these 4 different buildings, right? So I had planned that. I knew I had contacted the tenants that were going to come through here, yada, yada. So that part of the experience was good. Am I right? So this is the experience. Then the feedback was this part was good. Nobody complained about the tour. But what's the feedback that mattered? Why was I doing this tour in the first place? Who remembers why I was doing the tour? Why was I doing the tour? What was the point of it? Does anybody remember? See, this is slide number.
To sell the property.
Yeah, why did I want to sell the property? Why did I want to do that? Right? Let's see here if we have the number.
I'll wait and see if they say, but I'm tempted to say.
Okay, do we see anybody remember this part here?
Nice Momo.
Right? You do the tours and you represent properties like this because there's a big payoff. Y'all see that? So the fact that there wasn't any because the guy said, oh, I really don't know how to do anything. I can't buy anything because I don't have any money. Really, somebody else has the money. How can you relate to this in terms of your own business? How many people here have said, oh, I really want to, you have somebody who says, I want to build a business and I got my $1,500 or $2,000 ready to get started at a good high level. And then they say, oh no, my spouse is probably not going to agree, or I have to ask somebody for the money. How many people have discovered that and had that experience in your own business, in your network marketing business, or in any other business? Has anyone had that experience?
Oh,
So then
yeah.
what you ask yourself is, if that ever has happened to you, like it happened to me once, do you think it ever happened to me again? What do you think?
No, no.
If that ever happens to you, should that ever happen to you again? Ever? Yes or no? How many times are you going to keep taking people and spending time and they say, oh, I don't have any money, or my husband or my wife has to choose this? How many more times will you do that? Let me see in the chat. Now that you know that there are situations like that.
So far, one.
Well, it shouldn't be several times.
Yeah.
Ask at the front end.
That says never. And
You never. It should never happen again.
Yeah.
So Aunt Lulu, yeah. Listen, I got on a scale of 1 to 10, I got something. Tell me how much this matters to you. On a scale of 1 to 10. Blah, 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 blah. You want to lose weight or you want to get rid of itchies or whatever you want. And if you find something really good, you can make a decision yourself right then and make the decision to hand over the credit card and do it. Is that you? Or do you have to ask 5 people? Or 3 people or 2 people? Why don't you ask that? Because if they say, oh, I can do it, I can make a decision like that, great, then you can do the presentation. But if not, then tell them, well, then in that case, bring your wife, bring whoever needs to make the decision, bring them so that we can talk together. Do you see how this lesson will save you incredible amounts of time? So you get an experience, you take the parts that were good. You did a good tour. In my case, it was a good tour. Then I got feedback, which was the tour was good, but the buyer sucked. He wasn't qualified, right? So you can do a great presentation. But if the person isn't really interested in health and you never asked, or they really don't have any money, or they can't do anything like build a business and you never asked, you'll have spent that whole time for nothing. Are you see that? Yoo-hoo.
And there's one comment, Adriana, it shouldn't happen, but sometimes people change their story even after supposedly being pre-qualified.
Right. But then, you kind of know that and you stop talking to those people. Mm-hmm. There are people like that who are bored. And so they'll just take you over and over and then they pull a football away. Like the thing with Lucy or Snoopy, I think it was. There's that little Lucy and she has the football when the little kids are playing football. And no matter what this other little character does, she always pulls the football away just before it's time for him to kick it. There are people like that. Just stop talking to them. Find new people to talk to, okay? So you process the feedback and then you adjust the do. So these are the 3 steps. You have an experience, what was good, what was not good. So in this case, it was a good tour, but the buyer wasn't qualified. I processed the feedback. What was the feedback here? Oh, I don't have any money. I'm just doing this for my uncle. That's the feedback. Adjusting the do means I'm going to adjust next time so this never happens to me again. So now we ask for people, okay, you want to go do the tours. Who's your lender going to be? If you make it an offer on one of these and you're ready to close, who's the lender that's got the 60, 70, 80% financing? Show us the letter. We get the pre-qualification letters. First, why? Why would we spend a half a day with somebody who isn't qualified? Some guy said, the other day, it's mental masturbation. That's what he calls exercises like that. It's like personal development. If you never do anything, that's really what that is. You're just fooling yourself. There's nobody there. No baby is going to come. You know what I mean? So it's mental as well. Does everybody get this? Have an experience? Process of feedback. The person said no. Well, why not? Aunt Lulu, how come you don't want the face cream? It's like $86 and you said you liked it. And so she says, well, honey, I spent $6 on Pond's and I'm happy with that. That's the feedback. So what is the adjustment you're going to make here, given this feedback? Next time you talk to somebody, let me see, what are you going to do next time? She says, no, it's too expensive. I don't want to spend $80. Because I just spent $6 on Pond's cream. What's the adjustment you're going to make next time before you sample somebody or talk to somebody about your product? Let me see. Anybody? What are you going to do? Type it in the chat. Somebody knows here. I can't
Ask what
believe.
they use now.
Ask what they use now and how much it costs.
Mhm.
That's one way to do it. What's another thing you can do if you get it's too expensive, too much? What else? What else can you do? Totally. Anybody else?
Not yet.
Okay, I'll give you a second. You need to think about this because this is your life in marketing and sales. If you don't have experiences, you won't get any feedback. If you don't get any feedback, you're not going to be able to adjust. Leave what's good and change what didn't work out. Okay, so you adjust to do.
Only talk to people that love spending money, time on their skin.
Yeah, Denise, you have got it, lady. This is very important. I mean, I'm so happy to see our students getting this stuff.
Yeah.
You talk to people. I got a skincare product. You do? Yeah, yeah. And before you say it's the best, Dr. Dingeling approved it, it's breakthrough, skip all of that. Omit everything about that. Nobody cares. That's what every skincare product seller says. But this skincare, Aunt Lulu, is for people who love investing in their skin, who love having facials, who love going to the Golden Door, who love going to spas. They just love, 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 love on their skin. That's who it's for. You want to know what it is? She's probably going to say, well, you know, the one I use is $6, so that's probably not for me. But, you know, I know somebody. Who, do you know anybody like that, crazy like that, who loves their skin, loves their hair, loves their body, loves their clothes, and spends money right now on those things? Okay, are we getting this? Tell me that you are with me. And so you're getting the idea. So you have experience, process feedback, good and bad, and adjust what you do next time. Okay, we got it? All right, good. Next one. Makes sense? So I adjusted. It never occurred to me to quit. It's really never occurred to me to quit anything, except when I realized it wasn't the path I want to be on. Because you're supposed to adjust and get better. Like when you play baseball, they show you. If you watch Stephen Curry, I don't know, I have become kind of a fan of late because I see so many reels of his, but he's a very good basketball player. Most people think he's like an angel come down from heaven. He, no matter where he is, he shoots the ball, it lands in the basket. Some of you probably have heard of him. There's a team called the Warriors. I haven't even ever seen a game, but I've seen a lot of him. And one day somebody said, well, how do you get so many shots in there? Yeah, because you try and put a basket. It looks pretty easy to put the ball in the basket until you try it and you miss the whole board and the rim. You didn't even get high enough to get the damn thing in there, right? And he said, the ball is going to go where your two fingers, these two fingers, point when it's done. I had never heard that before. Really? Yeah. How does he know? Well, he's probably the best shooter in the NBA right now. If you look at anything else, this guy, Steph Curry, Curry. He said, where these two fingers go, that's where the ball is going to go. And you have to plant your feet before you shoot. He does it so fast, you don't notice it. But when he said it, I looked for it. He said, you have to plant your feet in a certain way underneath your hips to make sure that your body is always in the right position. So you can never forget that. He has done it thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times. So he never forgets it. These are called the nuances, and their same is true of communication, the little words, the little tone, the life force. You have to keep practicing it, doing it with somebody who knows what they're doing. So it doesn't take you 3 lifetimes to get good at communicating. That's why nobody any good quits, because they know that. So don't let people tell you it's easy. Just talk to people. If that were the case, how come almost everybody quits? And you don't just talk. You talk with an intention to separate somebody from their money, which is going to go to you. That is a different kind of talking. Would you say that's true? Yes or no? Is that different talking? Let me hear in the chat, see if you have that. Different talking, type it in. You've got to learn it. Mm-hmm. Learn different talking. You're talking to separate somebody from their money. That is not talking about the husband's hemorrhoids. No. Okay. Or the issues with that. All right. Where was I? We did this, right? Yep. Okay, didn't hurt. Okay. Here's the second thing that that I learned, and I can help you with this model. I don't know about you, but when I first got started, one of my early sponsors was still number one banana in the top company that I was first with. It's now it has a different name now, but in the day they were selling water filters. And he said, what we do is our belief is that anyone can do this, that is build a business who can fog a mirror. And I thought, because I was in real estate, commercial real estate, remember I told you this story. I thought, well, that's like news to me, but hey, whatever. He was making quite a lot of money. I think at the time, 90,000 a month, when in today's dollars, that would probably be about $350,000 a month. And he was like all of 28, 29 years old, just the cutest boy. We are friends to this day. But that's what he said. I said, okay, well, you're making more than I am. Not a lot more, but enough more for me to respect it and think, okay, anybody who could fog a mirror. I put any sensibilities I had on ice, left them on the train, as we often say, and I bought into this. I'm going to show you how this worked. And then the third one I'm going to show you is the one-on-one. Should you go one by one or should you do bunches at a time? So let me tell you about this one, the fog and mirror. The water filter thing happened. This is now 29, 30 years ago. I saw a little blue water filter at a Taekwondo demo because I'm into, Qigong and Taekwondo and all that stuff. And I decided to sell it because I was already a clean water person. Notice I was already a clean water person. Anything you market where the thing you're marketing represents something that's a benefit, that is also a point of view, like I only drink filtered water. I wouldn't even touch the caca coming out of the faucet. Ever. I've not done it my entire life that I can remember. If I did, I wasn't conscious of it, but it's been dozens of years. So when they said, well, here's this little filter that you can take with you, and then you can filter the water in any restaurant, because you know how they pour water and it's never filtered. So usually not filtered. So I figured, okay, I want to market this. So I did maybe, I don't know, the first several months, the details really don't matter. I did about $60,000 in customer sales, people who are using the water filter, under sink, shower filters, whole house filters, the whole thing. So I went to the event because the company called me and said, well, you've sold more than anybody in our 25-year history. Why don't you come tell people how you did that? So I told them, I said, yeah, I'll come. And after I got off stage, people said, oh, wow, we never met anybody who sold so much stuff before. And I asked my sponsor, well, don't you sell stuff? Is that what you're supposed to do? You sell stuff, right? That's like in real estate. You market property. You're supposed to sell the building, lease the building, do a transaction. That's where the money gets made, right? You're benefiting two parties. So he said, Kim, all these sales, that's really great. But, the money is in recruiting people. You have got to recruit people like you. That's where the big money is. How many have heard that before? You still hear that these days? You got to get the money where the money's in the recruiting, right? So it's like, okay, I could do that. So I told him, okay, I can recruit people. I'm sure I can. I did real estate recruiting, right? So it's the same thing, just getting people to sell something else instead of real estate, leasing and office buildings and whatnot, or the Jack in the Box or the McDonald's. We'd sell water filters, packages of them. So I brought in about 34 reps over the next 6 weeks. I ran little newspaper ads, little tiny ones, and talked to people. And everybody bought about $5,000 worth of water filters. That was the package of water filters at that time. I think they got like 12 filters, something like that. Are you with me? So everybody bought about a $5,000 package because they were going to wholesale. We're in the business of wholesaling and retailing. We're in the business of also building big distribution bases. And if they're movement based, oh my gosh, it's totally different. It's not just the product and the benefit, but it's the belief of the good you're doing for the world by spreading the word about this. That's where the core of growth never will end. That's why religion's so powerful. People believe it. So they came to me and said, we want to see what you did, because I earned $1,200 for all those 34 people. So we'd earn like, I don't know, 30, 40 grand, something like that in the first couple of months from these orders. Now, remember, I'm in the real estate business where those kind of commissions are pretty standard fare. So to me, at that, relatively speaking, everything's relative, right? It wasn't that big a deal. Now for you, me go, oh my God, that would take care of my life. For somebody like Elon, it's not even, it wouldn't fit in his, lip gloss. So it's all relative. For some of you, that's like, oh my God. For some of you, that's wiener. So we're always relative. Remember that. Your view is just your view. There are views above you, beside you, below you, and under you. Always. There's somebody ahead of you, always. There's somebody behind you, always. There's always someone you can help, and there's someone who can help you. Right? This is kind of how life is. Keep that in mind. So I planned this detailed training. And most of them are guys have, we want to know what you did because we want to earn 30 grand. So great, you can do it. So I did the training. On the day of the training, 6 people show up. 6 out of 34 who corralled me and said, we want to show you how to do this. So who here has experienced this kind of thing? You're going to have an event, you're going to have a training, say, for your people, or you've been part of one of these, and they all tell you how great they're going to be. And then on the day they're supposed to show up or purchase, like he was saying, ready to buy, and nobody is there. Has anybody had this before, or am I the only one?
Oh, yes. Lots of yeses.
Right? It's like, so you're going to change the world. What happened? Oh, it rained, or, like that. So I did the training for the 6 people, and then I called my sponsor, this longtime rep, big earner, somebody that Vic. And she said, Kim, this is how the industry is. Most people quit. And I told her, really, I don't want to be part of it then. So if that's what people do in this industry, if that's the definition of this industry, because it was the first time I ever heard of, whoever heard of MLM network marketing, not me. I'm from Harvard, we do commercial real estate. I never had heard of it. And she said, well, that's what people do. And I said, well, then I want to quit too, because if that's what it attracts, I have never quit. And I don't want to be in a business where the name implies quitter. So I'm not doing it. So she says, well, and I told her, and the reason is that I run a real estate business. I've never had people quit like this. If you are a real estate broker, you hire agents. They're all volunteers. You can put them on a draw, but mine were volunteers, and they get 50% of whatever they do. That's called production-based income. You make a sale, you bring in the money, or you cause events to happen that make money come out the other end, like somebody pays you commission to sell the house or the building or what have you. Right? All of you understand if you sell your house, you're going to pay a broker a commission, usually. Otherwise, you do all the work yourself. So you save time by paying someone who presumably knows how, or you use the time yourself. You're always paying one way, time or brains. So I had never had anybody quit. So I told her, I'm going to stick with my real estate. She says, well, okay, before you quit, would you try something, just a little thing for me? She's a very smart lady, So I said, yeah, what? And she said, well, your real estate agents, they're like reps. They only are paid when they produce results, right? Do you all understand this, by the way? Are you all with me? Real estate agents don't make any money unless they actually make a deal happen. We all got this? Okay, Donna, she's got this. Donna, you want to connect with Vicki at some point. We might have something special for you, lady. So anyway, this is your real estate agents. They only are, and she said, try recruiting the water filter reps the way you did your real estate reps. So I thought, okay, all right, maybe I could do that, right? I try that. Are y'all with me? You see the comparison? She said, I told her, she said, the industry of MLM and network marketing, most people quit. And I told her, well, then I'm not doing that, because I also recruit volunteers for real estate, and they have never quit. And so she says, well, then why don't you, before you quit, try recruiting the water filter reps like you did the real estate reps. Does that make sense to you? Let me see in the chat. Is that like a good idea? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? That makes sense. I thought, okay. So let me see what I should do here. So here's what happened. My first experience with this. Remember, we're going to have the same thing right here. Let's see, we got. Okay. Experience. Then I'm going to process the feedback. What was my experience? To get the 34 reps into my business, I had run little ads, little classified ads. Same thing I did with real estate. I ran classified ads. So I had an experience. I got some feedback that I need to process. And then at the end, I'm going to adjust the do. Does this formula make sense? You have an experience, you initiate something, whether you go outside and you do jumping jacks or whether you have an experience, you get some feedback, like you might get tired or you scrape your knee or whatever, and then you adjust what you do the next time. Do y'all see that? So you do something, have an experience, you get some feedback from the world, from your body, from other people, and then you adjust what you do the next time until your experience has become really, really good. Are you with me? Tell me yes in the chat that you have this. Say yes, got it. Let me see that.
Oh yeah, Donna loves it. Loves the formula. Yes, yes.
Okay. So how to adjust to do. So I think, okay, so how did I recruit these 15 real estate agents, none of whom had quit? Let's start with them. And I checked the offers. The offer is that thing that you put out there saying, yoo-hoo, I'm looking for these people. And if you are this person, I got something for you. So yoo-hoo, if you want to grow giant tomatoes that are 3 feet in diameter, click this. We got the giant 3-foot tomato seed right here. Right? Who's going to come? Somebody who wants to grow 3-foot in diameter tomatoes. Is that you? No, but it might be somebody. That's called an offer. If you want this, go here. If you give me this, I'll give you that. Give me 5 minutes of your time or an hour of your time, and I'll show you how to become a millionaire in 5 years. Right? Or if you want to get rid of this, click here. Those are called offers. If you want this, go here. If you want to get rid of this, do that. Okay. So I check my offers, which is how did I call these people and get them to come in, the real estate agents in the first place, none of whom had ever quit. Okay. So for the water filter reps, I used it. So we wrote ads for both. I'm going to compare the ads. For the water filter ads that I ran, I used an ad that the top earner, Jeff, recommended. Here was the ad. 10,000 a month, need help. Health field, no experience necessary, we'll train. Call 800, blah, 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 blah. That was the ad. We got hundreds of responses, by the way. I'm looking at your messages here. Okay, hundreds and hundreds of responses. They were the people of whom the first, 34 or so signed up and dropped the $5,000 with the water filters. And they're the ones where 6 people showed up for the training. Do you remember that? Are you with me? Tell me yes.
Yes.
Are you with me with the story? Okay. Many signed up. That was the first group. About 36 reps. 6 showed up for the training. Remember that. Then I checked my real estate ads. For the real estate reps, I wanted real estate agents, right, for my company. And in the real estate section of the paper, which is where the classifieds were for this one, here's the kind of ad we ran. Seeking top commercial leasing agent. Notice what this ad is. Is that specific? Yes or no?
Oh, yes. Very specific. Very.
Very, very, very specific. Right? Are we looking for any Lulu? Are we looking for beginners? Are we looking for interns? Am I looking for trainees? Am I looking for people that are bored and don't, you get this? Mm-hmm. Seeking top commercial leasing agent. So whoever comes is going to have an attitude about themselves. I am a top banana. But that's what I want. I don't want wieners. Why do I want to start all over? I mean, I like to have a fast start. And the only way to have a fast start is to have people with you that have done it before. That's why do you think people in football recruit people that are top players in high school and college? Why? They're already good. Why? Because they've spent thousands of hours practicing. That's why they're so good. If you haven't been in the pool swimming and you want to know how come you can't talk to anybody and you talk to one person a month, that's why. You can't learn to swim sitting by the pool reading a book about how to swim. You have to get your butt in the pool and start swimming. Same with tennis. This is communication. You have to learn to communicate. So I asked for this. Now look at this. Then I asked this. Must know and love the city, because we did this in quite a few cities. Must know and love the city, specifically the financial district. Why? Because we're looking at people with money. They're in the financial district, a bunch of them. I could have gone to the expensive neighborhoods, but that would require a lot more work because the houses are really big and far apart, right? You might go trick-or-treating there if you're a kid. But if you want the concentrations of people with money and thinking about money and thinking about finance and building and growing, it's the financial districts. That's where most of those people are all gathered. Must be familiar with the back alleys where the hidden locations are. Must love showing clients new spots, making them the best deals. Send me your resume and tell me why you're the greatest for this gig. That's what we did. Versus this ad. 10,000 a month, need help, health field, no experience necessary, will train, call 800, blah, 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 blah. Do y'all see the difference? What have I done in the ad for real estate? Yeah. You want to swim? We'll teach you how to swim. Get your butt in the pool. Right? Right? It's what we did. It's what all good people do. You don't just ask for anybody. You don't want just anybody. You can talk to anybody you want, but ask the questions that will tell you before you do anything, whether they are even in the ballpark for what you have and what you want. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm looking at the comments there. So
super specific, looking for the best, cut out the experience factor.
Yeah, and then you say specifically what you're looking for, right? These are the things that we said. All the requirements. Why? That's who we wanted. We were looking for people to help us grow our business. If you want somebody to help you grow your business, why are you asking for somebody who's never done anything like that before?
Right.
Why would you do that? Why would you ask for people and say, well, we'll do it all for you? Hello. How is that going to grow your business? Right? You have to ask for people who know how, who have certain skills. So we ran certain ads. So here's the formula again, right? The experience, the feedback, and adjust to do. This is our feedback formula. We ran certain ads for both real estate and for the network marketing, the water filter business. We got feedback, namely the ads. We ran the ads without a hitch. So this part was good, not the quality of the ad, but the ad itself. We actually placed the money, gave the paper the money, ran the ad. We got feedback. That means people responded versus not responding. That might also be feedback. And some of the we got a lot of people for the first ad for the reps. Everybody wanted 10 grand a month, right? But then we knew what happened. They all dropped out. So we adjusted the do to go with what we got for the real estate. You see, so we ran the ads. We ran different ads. We got different feedback. For the real estate, we got way fewer people applying. We'd have like 5 people apply instead of 20. But guess what? They knew the city. They loved to show the stuff. They were good. When people came to town with a moment's notice, we had the tour planned in 10 minutes because everybody knew where everything was. We knew every corner, every owner that was looking to make a quick deal without a sign on the door. So nobody would know. That's why we did so well with that. We really wanted to be the best and show properties that nobody else had, that we knew nobody would have, because there weren't any signs. There's no way to know. So you adjust what you do to get the better people in there. Does that make sense? So it's instead of quitting, you adjust, you adjust, you adjust, you adjust, you adjust. Okay, what you do. You don't quit, and don't, for God's sake, ask for permission. Could we say this? No, say it, do it, and let the upline police do whatever they're going to do. When you start bringing in volume, like we did, our upline said, oh my God, they're so excited. Will you come to Nashville, come to New Orleans, come to the National and speak to everybody and tell them what you did? I never asked for permission, and I didn't use their brochures. You got to be kidding. They want to talk about carbon filter versus granulated filter carbon. Who gives a crap? Can you taste the difference? Do you care about the caca coming out of the faucet? Because if you don't, you're not going to buy a filter. So I just got the people who cared about the caca coming out of the faucet. And the ones who didn't know said, what do you mean? What do you mean caca coming out of that faucet? What do you mean? So what you spend, I don't know, $300 on your Shiseido or whatever cream care you have, $500-600 a month. And then you stand there in bleach water. What do you think is going to happen to your skin? I had no idea. That's what chlorine is, bleach. Oh my God, let me get the filter. And not everybody bought, but enough did because they didn't know. We didn't sell the carbon. We sold, do you really want to bleach yourself? Do you know that's what you're doing? And if you care about your skin and you're spending all this money, it's wasting. That's what sold people. There was none of that was in the brochure. We sold more than anybody else. Faster. Why? Because we were looking to become missionaries for people who cared how they looked and they didn't want to put things on their hands that would wrinkle them up with bleach or stand there and have all this stuff happen to them. The people who didn't care said, God made me to wrinkle when I get old. Great, you do that. Yeah, there's those people. Who cares? You're looking for my sheep hear my voice. Jesus said that. Did everybody hear his voice? No. But enough did. They got like a pretty big religion going. And every Sunday they make a lot of money around the world. Okay, you see how this works? Okay, so we changed the ad. What would you change in the ad? I mean, this is a topic for a different thing, but we changed the ad totally and ended up with a completely different group of completely qualified people for the business that we wanted, which is somebody who had owned a business before, somebody who loved sales, who loved teaching. Those are the people that we wanted. That's who we were looking for. And, someday I'll show you the ads when we do it. We've done these on different trainings before. The key is we were not seeking anyone or everybody who could fog a mirror. Does that make sense? No more of that. Because you waste your time, right? We brought those people in who wanted this. Remember, a few good men, a few good women. How many of you remember the Marine Corps ad? We just want a few good people. That's the way you want to be for your building. If you want to build a movement, you need a few good people. I mean, Jesus only had 12 plus one pukey, right? But he did okay. You don't need that many people. In our industry, usually 3 players will do it, 2 or 3. And if some of you go, what do you mean 2 or 3? They have hundreds of thousands of people. They do. Yes, they do. But in most businesses, you'll find that the person who has, say, 100,000 people, let's say they have that. Well, we're on and doing an experimental team right now. The guy has about 500,000 people because he's the top banana in the company. And of those, there are probably 6 or 7 that have 90% of all those people under them. Do you understand that? See, in our industry, there are 2 concepts. They only teach you one if you're a little fry. What do they tell you? It's a lot of people doing a little. So do a little and buy every month. And that's true. They're called sheep. We are all sheep also, by the way. Every leader is also a good sheep. If you don't know how to follow, you surely cannot lead. That's for sure. You got to know how to follow somebody better than you because there's always somebody better, remember? And there's always somebody you can lead. However, you have all the sheep, but then there are called sheep herders, shepherds for short. And what are those? They ride herd on thousands of sheep. They're called in our industry the drivers. And we were looking for drivers. You see that? And you have to ask for them. And there'll be drivers in many walks of life, not just network marketers. Tell me that you got this. Say driver. Say the word driver. You want to learn how to get a driver. Who knows how to spell it? Driver. Do we have any driver lovers?
Well, we got one now. 2
drivers. You want to find drivers. That doesn't mean you don't want customers. I'm a big customer queen. If you don't have a product people would buy, whether they sell it or not, you're sunk. Because every driver is a driver because they want to spread the word about something they believe in. So the product has to do good and be different. Like Tesla's different. The people for that product, they're missionaries. People for some of the crazy products, like one that we're doing an experimental team on, they see it like Tesla, only for healing. The whole thing with all the side effects of gas and all the effects on the environment with the typical remedies, pills over the counter, drugs, there's an alternative where you don't do any of that. So just like Tesla is to gas car, this particular product for healing is to the old drugs and remedies off the Tylenol and whatnot. So if you believe something like that, that's when you become an advocate, a missionary, a driver. And you'll find thousands of people that hear your voice. So that's who we were looking for. So it's not everybody. Okay, just be clear about that. Same thing. So we do something. Some of you are saying, I don't know how to get started. Well, you need to first know who you help. What's that thing that you're helping people? Like with religion, we're going to sell you eternal life. And if you don't do what we say, you're going to be eternally fried to a crisp. That's their story. So what is your story? I mean, that's kind of the bottom line, isn't it, Vic? Am I right or not?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. Let's just be straight about it. You want to go to heaven or burn to a crisp. That's it. You follow us and you get heaven, and you follow them and you burn to a crisp. Every religion, by the way, says that. Don't think it's just Christianity. The Muslims say the same thing. And so does all the religions. Study the religions. I have a whole book, Religions of the World, by a wonderful man who recently died. He was in his late 90s and had the wonderful opportunity to meet him. Houston Smith. Some of you probably, if you're Christians, you know him. And he said, all the religions preach, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Right? And yet all of them preach, kill off anybody who doesn't believe like you do, except the Buddhists, who don't believe in harming a fly, much less a human being. But all the religions. So, these are things you have to learn to deal with. Okay? So you do something. So decide what you stand for. What is it what status quo are you changing? What are you making better in somebody's life with the product that you've got? Because that's how it starts, right? What's the religious product? Their particular religion, right? So whether you DM somebody, make an email, a phone call, we do something, you get feedback. They tell you, no, yes, too much, too little, whatever. And then you adjust what you do. What do you change? Do you change who you talk to? Do you change what you say first? Do you change the tone of your voice? Trial, error, trial, error, trial, error, trial. That's what you do till you get it right. Does that make sense to people? Can you live with this? Yeah, I can't see the comments, so you let me know. The last thing I wanted to show you is the third experience that I had, talk about pain of fire, is we used to talk to people one by one by one. How many of you talk to people one at a time? You pick up the phone and you say, hey, Lulu, I got something, you're going to love it. Who does that? Does anybody still do that?
Oh, yeah, several.
Still do that? Yeah. Yeah. And you do like one at a time. And many times, how many of you have discovered that you do that with people? And then at the end, they say, no, I don't have any money, or no, I don't really care about losing weight, or no, I don't ever want to do network marketing. How many of you found that? Who's got that?
Oh, yes.
Right.
I have. Yeah.
So you basically feel like, oh my God, I wish I hadn't said all that, because now I wasted 45 minutes and all my energy and all my hopes, and they were just listening to be polite like that, right? So we realized that there were certain questions, after having built 6 of these, that there were certain things we could customize it for somebody's product line, and we do, of course. But there are certain questions which we can ask everyone, so that before we talk to them and say, okay, here's what we have, we know they're on the same page in terms of values, in terms of what they bought before, and in terms of their philosophy and the kind of fix that we have. And that sounds like a mouthful of blather, but let me tell you what I mean. Let's say you market a weight loss program. If you type in Google weight loss, we did it the other day for weight loss, nutrition, hair, work from home, I think, fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And there were no less than 1 trillion results that came back on Google within 50th of a second, whatever, less than a second. So if you Google weight loss, it'll take less than a second and you'll get like 3 trillion some results. So that means that there are many ways. Number one, it means that nobody's losing weight with what's going on out there. Otherwise, it wouldn't be that much available. Do you see that? I mean, if weight loss products were effective, there wouldn't be all these people needing to lose weight so that you need 1 trillion results. Are you there? Yeah, you totally feel like you waste your time. Totally. So a person, if they're overweight, may not want to lose right now. You may think they should, but they don't want to. Then of those who want to lose, there will be people who say, well, I want to ab start in the kitchen. Somebody else is going to go, no, ab start in the gym. No, ab start with fasting and mindset. No, it starts with juice fasting. No, it starts with, I don't know, not eating for a week, having a water fast, going to the golden door. There are hundreds of paths from a person to get from a fat to a slinky minky. So all of that we want to find that out before we spend any time talking to a person. Do you see that? So we have found a way to automate that process so that the only people we talk to are those who have a real interest in achieving what we're achieving the way we're doing it. And with our group, do you see that? This thing about my sheep hear my voice is every one of you has a voice. If you care about helping people with what you've got, somehow, whatever that is, or you're still looking to help somebody with what you've got or what you can do, your experience. And there will be people who are waiting for your voice, not my voice, not Vicky's voice, not it, just yours. And a few hundred of those will get you a couple $1,000s a month in income to get you off the job at least, or get some extra momo in the door so you can do something instead of wondering, I'm overdrawn $9. So what we do is we have formulated question sets for different types of products and benefits and paths that you guys have. Because remember, you tell somebody, hey, you want to lose weight? Here are the pills. What do the people have to do? There's a process. They have to start taking the pills. They may have to do some exercise, whatever your thing is. They may have to do this. They may have to do that. So you put them into a washing machine and a rinsing machine and a drying machine, and then they come out the other end and they're different than they were before. It's like dirty clothes. Fat of fat to slinky, right? Or no energy to lots of energy. Are you with me? So that process that person has to go through, they have to do that to become that new self. So what we do is find out before we talk, are you a one? And when they say yes, they self-select, they come and they book on our calendar and we skip everybody else. That's why we almost never hear no. And if we do, it's give me a week or two, let me get it together. And then they'll call Vicky back and say, I'm here. Here's the money. I'm ready to go. Right, Vic?
Pretty much.
And you're always friendly with them because you're already on the same page. You see, we call these readiness rituals. They're a secret weapon. They're an automated kind of a qualification machine, which is done with very friendly questions that people love to answer. We've not had anybody not finish one of these ever. They love to do it. They whip through it. And if it's not a fit, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Everybody stays friends. We don't bring it up until they do. Mm-hmm. No reason to nag. So you only talk to people that have an interest in buying, you see? So this was the third thing. So the experience one-on-one is slow and you spend your best energy with a lot of wrong people, like Donna was saying. So you get the feedback. What's the feedback? While doing this, you get mostly no's. And what do you do next? Well, now we're giving people some sweet questions to say, so before we chat and spend a lot of time, yours or mine here, answer these. And if you come out the other side, we'll chat. And if not, nothing ventured, nothing gained. You ready? Yeah. Boom. Here it is. And they whip through it. And either we get a calendar appointment, Vicky sees something on her calendar, or she doesn't. And she never hears no of that kind, that kind of no where it's like, oh. If I could pray on bended knee, I would do that for a couple. What if you could pray about what? Yeah, you did waste your time. But you see, remember, was it an utter waste? If you got an experience, you got an experience. Now you know this is not the quick way to do it. That's what experience means. If you're going to learn how to box, somebody's going to bop you in the kisser. And if you can't deal with that, don't become a boxer. You will get punched in the kisser. That's the way it is. Get over it. If you're going to play tennis, somebody is going to ace you. They ace each other in the Wimbledon, in the US Opens, in the best tournaments in the world. These are the best in the world, and they ace each other. How embarrassing is that? You never even got your racket on the ball, and you're supposed to be number 2 in the world. So get over it. That's how you get really, really, really good. And if you give a crap about the impact that your work could have on the world, that's all you think about is, okay, that's another thing out of the way. Okay, so he's not going to ace me again. Next time he does that and he tries it to my backhand. In fact, there was an old tennis court. Somebody in the audience said, serve it to his backhand. And you heard it in Wimbledon. They had these funny moments in Wimbledon. So somebody in the audience screamed, serve it to his backhand. So I think it was Federer or one of the top guys a few years ago, looks up into the audience. He says, okay. And then the other guy across from, I think it was Federer, Roger Federer, was looking at like, what the hell just happened? And so Federer's turn he was serving, and he serves to the guy's backhand, and the guy completely misses it. And the whole stadium's uproared in laughter. because he just said, serve to his backhand. Federer goes, oh, okay. World Championship, center court, Wimbledon. And they have got the control because they've done it thousands of times. Get good. I mean, you can be a world champion and make an impact, but you got to get good. This is the process right here. Have the experience. It didn't work. So what? What do you have to fix? Well, you had made a good presentation, but you made it to 9 of the wrong people. How can I then have a good experience? Because now you know how to present, but you just presented to 9 wrong people. That doesn't mean you can't present. It just means you can't choose. So get yourself a system so the only ones you present to are ready to buy. Does that make sense? Let me see if you get this. That doesn't mean the whole thing's screwed up. You can present. You're just presenting to all the wrong people. So change it. Find some way to find out beforehand. It's too expensive. I don't want to do that path. I don't want to do this. So great. Ask all that stuff. Say here, answer these questions. If you come out the other end, we'll chat. If you pass. So we tell people, I want to pass. I want to pass. We'll see if you do. And if somebody says, well, are you a 9 or a 10? I'm a 9. We don't take them. Why? Why are you a 9? Why aren't you a 10?
Right.
Well, because my spouse. Great. You're not going to buy. So I step. Why? Does that mean the person is not helpable? No, it just means if you want to make money now, fast, in the next 6 months, you've got to go with the people that are ready now. Do you understand that? Let me see if you say yes. Ready now, ready now, ready now. Let me see ready now. See? All right.
Oh yes, lots of ready nows.
Yeah, so it's not that you're going to leave them on the wayside and, walk across the street and not be a good Samaritan. Right now, you don't have room to be a good Samaritan because you don't have any money in your church.
That's right.
You got nothing in there. You need help from the church yourself.
That's funny.
But isn't that right? How many of you would like to go to church and say, give me a couple $100, would you? But you see, this is how you overcome this and build yourself into something that you can be proud of. The process is the same for everyone. Tennis players, football players, pianists, speakers, Tony Robbins, they all did this. They do it 24/7 until they get so good, they just, you can't even stand it. But it's really sexy to be good. Did you know that? When you're really good at something, people, you are a big sex magnet. They just, oh my God, they just admire you. Awesomeness is a wonderful thing. I love people that are awesome. I'm attracted to anyone with massive brain power and doing things because I know what it took to get there. It's exciting. Who wants to be really not that good? Do you really want to go around saying, I don't know how to talk to people? How much longer do you want to say that? Talk to them and you'll get good at it. Say the wrong thing enough and pretty soon you go, okay, the feedback was, no, don't talk to me about network marketing. So what should I adjust? Hey, listen, I got this thing. It makes a lot of money for some people, but it's one of those things, network marketing. So you want to hear about it or not? What have you done? I really like it. A lot of people make a lot of money, but it's one of those things. So before I tell you anything, yes or no, you up for it or not? How many people get this? I'm telling you, that's what we do. People used to say, as this MLM, we say only if you're really good. If you're not that good, you need to be a customer first. Why? Because you can't sell anybody. Jack, how are you going to help us if you can't go and start talking so people hear your voice? You don't have a voice. You got to develop the voice so people hear you. The voice, Vic, we should have a thing called the voice. You got this?
We should. Kim,
so
it's
this
all
is
the way,
what
it's all the way you say it too, Kim. The way you just said it. It's fun the way she says things. We need to get some fun back in our voice instead of being so intense and ashamed of the thing.
Yeah, and it is one of those things. It's one of those things. The answer is yeah, it is. And a lot of people make a lot of money, so that's why I like it. I happen to like the product. People ask me for years, you're from Harvard. What are you doing in network marketing? I said, well, I like it. I like what I sell and I like what I market and I like the plan, the way it pays. So I never could understand that. What do you care what anybody thinks about network marketing? They're not going to be in it. Say somebody says, well, you in one of those things. Say, yeah, I am. As a matter of fact, it's quite good. But it's probably not for you. But I'm looking, so you let me know if you got a crazy person that really wants to impact the world, wants to go banana cakes. And that's who I want to talk to. But no, you don't have to do it. I totally get it. They're saying, I don't want to collect garbage. I don't want to do that either. I totally get it. But some people love it. And they build empires. They make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars recycling. So the thing is what you make it. Don't buy anybody's definition of what you do ever. You get good at it and you make it what you want. You make the job. The job has honor because you're doing it. So remember, that's the order of things. All right. So this is the end. So I want to show you how you can do this. When you do the work this way, you become seen as an advisor instead of a seller. Do you all see how that might work? Do you see here advisor? You want to type in the group advisor, that you get to see how you're actually becoming seen as an advisor instead of just some kind of seller out there looking for a few bucks, right? So I have a question for you. By the way, how much did you say you want to earn in the next 12 months? Did we have that?
Yeah, like
in the next 12 months.
Next 1,500 was quite
Okay.
often put it into the chat. 2,000 up to 5,000. A year later, 10 to 15.
Okay, so shall we say in the next 10 months, in the next 12 months, what number shall we put here? We can make it any number we want. In the next 12 months, how much you want to make? Don't pick a number that you don't believe you can achieve. Put some numbers in here and I'll change mine. What do you want?
Okay. Who else is going to put in? 15, Lynette says 15, Carrie says annually 60,000.
Okay. So should we say an extra 60,000?
Yeah.
For the year in the next 12 months. You got that?
Yep.
That's a perfectly good number. Okay. So let's say that you make $2,000 in the next, that's what you, or what you earn in the last 12 months, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 from your business. You all can put your own in there. Okay. Put your number that you earned all of last year with your business. Okay. So we said 60. So let's say 58. Okay. So if you want to earn 60,000, okay, we just change these numbers, make them whatever we want. There are slides, right? Do whatever the hell we want, right?
There's
So if you want to earn, if you earn 12,000, then you didn't earn 58,000. Are you with this? Right?
Yeah.
Yes or no? If you earned 2,000 last year with your business and you want to earn 60, it's 58,000 that you didn't earn. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes.
We got that?
Yep, I got it.
Okay, so that means it's costing you $58,000 per year, every year that you do not earn $60,000 that you said you want to earn. Does everybody see that? That's your cost. You're wasting $58,000. You're leaving 58 grand on the table every year that you do not learn how to earn 60,000. Who gets this?
Oh, yes, I do. I get this.
If you don't get this, you're totally screwed up. And then you're going to have to just be stocking shelves. And we need those people. But try to hold out for $10 an hour plus benefits. Maybe that'll, you get a little bit better. Because remember, the goals are yours. They're yours. They're not mine. They're not Vicky's. They're not Lynette's. They're yours. Pick whatever bloody number you want and then figure out how to get there and just do it. And hang with somebody that can help you get there, not with people that are learning themselves. You want to get on a helicopter with somebody who says, oh, I'm just learning. Shall we learn together? What are you, crazy? That's what people say. Oh, let's just learn together. I'll sign up with Aunt Lulu. She hasn't made any, but we can learn together. That's great. You'll be 10, 15 years before you make 2,000. And it's going to be costing you $58,000 every year that you don't work with somebody who knows how. And if you're in a company and when you love it, go apply until you find somebody. Just keep calling till you figure out who that person is. Say, listen, I'm sitting on your door until you tell me how you're doing this. That's what we did. After the first time, I never signed up with anybody who invited me again. I found the top person in the company. And if I liked it, then I signed up with him. Why? I want the best help. I know I'm not here forever. We act like we're here forever, but we're not. So you get the best help. We're going to offer you some help. If you want to change that, you want to keep losing. For those of you that want to make $100,000 a year, but let's say $58,000 a year by not knowing how, right? If you want to do that, we are going to offer you something real special today. It's some of you know that we have high ticket programs of running up to 24,000 per year. And we also have tiny programs for like $5.55. I have a book called If My Product's So Great, How Come I Can't Sell It? And it's $5.55. We have sold hundreds of thousands of copies. And this is a program that's on the lower end. It's called The Awakening. It's on July 19. And what it's going to be when you see it, it's a 4-hour event that will show you how we structure everything we do to build something big. So how do you figure out who you can help? How do you figure out what your offer should be? How do you figure out how to communicate your offer to people? And how do you figure out how to take the people who say yes and pre-qualify them based on what you've got so that you get a calendar full of people who are most likely to buy? That is what we're going to offer you. And we have, there are 2 options for this, this program. It's called the Awakening. It's experience. If you want to become an elite advisor, it's 4 hours in a row. We have little breaks and stuff. And 3 of us are going to teach it. Vic and Brooke Nilsson and I are going to do this because we've done all this stuff. That's why we're going to teach it to you. And there are 2 options. One is the gallery where you get to watch and see and hear everything. And then we have the VIP tickets. And with the VIP tickets, which is what I'm going to show you, we will actually help you customize your offer with my help and with Brooke's help. And that's why it's a little bit more. It's actually dirt cheap. People to make offers, there's a girl named that I have known for some years, Eileen Wilder. Some of you may know her. She's a wonderful creature. She was a pastor for 22 years. Vicki, all these pastors, I tell you, they're coming out of the woodwork. Myron Golden's another one, used to be a big pastor. But anyway, she charges and gets $55,000 for one day for people to come to her place and hang out, and she helps them craft their offer. So you think we're going to be charging you $5,500, right? Well, we're not, because we want to do this as kind of a goodwill gesture to those of you who are thinking that maybe you could do this and that you could afford something that you don't have to tell the hubby about. You could do it yourself and see if this is really a path for you, where greatness in serving other people in some way is in your heart and is what you're called to do. So you can we have, I think, 8 spots left for this for $247. You can come to that 4-hour session. And with this $247, you will get, among other things, what I just told you, we will work with you live to create an offer that you can use to promote what you've got to people. So what's an offer? Well, let's say that one of my offers would be, somebody says, what do you do? I said, well, we help network marketers. So that's who we help. Remember, we have network marketers who don't want to talk to their friends and family, right? Because they don't want to lose them, to find people to talk to and learn what to say so that they get the right people in their business, both as customers and reps. That's what we do. What do you do? Who comes? The sheep that hear our voice are all the networkers who don't know what to say, don't want to do friends and family, don't know where to find people, and don't know how to, quote unquote, enroll them without stumbling all over themselves and feeling all squirmy. And you need to be able to do that, because once you have that, then on my Facebook page, on my Facebook profile, I could say something like, is it really possible to build a network marketing business without friends and family, right? And without running paid ads? Click here to find out. And I might have a little PDF or something where people click and I get you on my email list. This is what you would be doing. And then you suddenly have people that are interested. Is it really possible to take hormone pills and not have side effects? Right? Is it really possible to have a hair product that really does grow your hair back without it growing out in the wrong places, so you don't have something coming out of the side of your cheek? I mean, I have no idea, whatever the issues are, right? So that's what we have. So if you want that, Vic, you want to give the link to that? There are 2 options. If you want to just, be a fly on the wall and see everything and get everything that happens, it's $47 for that 4-hour session. This is the Elite Advisor Awakening. And if you are wanting to have if you believe you've got something and you want my personal help creating that offer so that you have something to talk about that never mentions the product, doesn't tell them how great it is, doesn't talk about network marketing, talks about the kind of help you can help people to make that part of the world better than it was before. That one is $247. I think we have like 7 VIP seats left. So Vic, do you have the link for that? You want to give them that?
Yeah, I just put that in. Can you see
Okay.
that? It's right there
Yeah.
in chat.
So this is going to be July 19th. I can also tell you that this is probably the last one of these we're going to do this year. This is the second one, but we are going to be doing some stuff to build some with some teams that we know. And that's where our main time is going to go, because we are ourselves involved in something that we think is going to make a giant, huge difference. And we want to do something while we're above ground to help with it. So our efforts will be going to help certain teams of people that are part of the movement that we're creating, instead of creating programs like this for the whole world of marketers who needs it. Because we have a boatload of products on YouTube, and I have the Kim Klaver Academy. So we have a lot of stuff to help you. So I'm just letting you know that this is probably the last one of these we're going to have this year, 4-hour session where we actually help you with your offer, because it takes a lot of work. Instead of $55,000, we do it for $247, because if you're here and you're still here, sitting here going, could I do this? Ask, do you want to? Do you want to help? Does it turn you on to really help somebody with their skin or their nutrition or their health? Does it turn you on when you can do something for somebody and they break a 60-year habit of drinking Coca-Cola, 4 cans a day? Does it help you? Does it turn you on to know that you can take a little pet and they're crying and whining because they have a sore leg, and you can do something with them, and in moments they're running around? If that, whatever you're doing, if you, I want to do that to people so that they have this change, whatever you're marketing, doesn't matter what it is. If you believe in it and you can see the impact, do this, because it will show you how you can become who you need to be the leader of that movement. That's what this is. See? So it's to give you a taste. And that's why I'm letting you know now, we're not going to be doing this again this year, if ever, really, but not this year. So it's July 19th. So if you want to get in there, you hop in there and do that. And they're not 3 options. They're only the 2 options. And for those of you that want to talk to Vic, I know some of you have been in here and you're ready to go into one of our, main programs. Or somebody who wanted to know about the crazy experimental team with this stuff that we happen to be doing. If you love what you have, do that. Whatever you can get behind, do that, and go with your heart. Go with what makes you excited, not your upline, not me, not Vicky, not nobody. You. What makes you go, oh, the reason I'm waking up is I want to show 10 more people, and I know only 3 of them are going to say yes, but those 3, they're going to change my world, and it's going to change their world. Do that. And building a distribution network that is made of people who are believers are called movements, and they grow on their own. Once you get past that critical mass, there's nothing like it. Nothing more exciting than that. Knowing that you're making a difference, that's just a big deal. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Vic, you want to connect with people? If you want to connect with Vicky, do you all know how to do that?
Yeah, and Priscilla, I just heard you just registered. So we got you down, and Louise, you just signed up. So we've got a few of you. And the links are right here above. I just put it up there so you guys can pop in and pick VIP or pick gallery.
Yeah.
Do you guys all see that?
I'm looking to see if for the folks that are registered so far. Who says that they're in already? Which one of you guys?
And Louise.
Okay. Did you go there and? Okay, I'm still waiting for yours to come, so you may have to hit submit or something like that.
Yeah.
Not sure here, but we'll look for those. Which option did you choose, Priscilla? Did you get Vic? Did you give them the link?
Yeah, the link is in there. And then Priscilla signed up right after. Right, Priscilla?
Okay. No, she signed up a couple of weeks ago. Yep. We got
Here
you,
it is
girlfriend.
again, just in case, so you guys don't lose sight of it.
Yep.
And if you have any questions or whatever, here's my cell phone. You guys can text me, and I can call you.
Yep. How many of you that are here feel like you've been called to help people with whatever it is that you're doing or something that you're doing? You don't see the gallery link. Okay, so Priscilla, go to the link that Vicky gave you there. And if I signed up earlier, yep. Louise, we got you.
And here's
Carrie,
here's
put the
the other
link in
link.
there.
There.
Yeah, what you'll see there is on the page, you're going to see this here.
Yeah.
And the main page you look at is right here.
Yep.
Yeah. So I gave you this link, Vic, because you know
Right,
we
I've
have
got both of them in there. Both.
Okay. Do y'all see this? This link says max out, MAXOUT. Do you see that? You can go there and just scroll down and have it right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Priscilla, you got it? Yeah. Priscilla, what do you market? I mean, what's the dream that you guys have for your business? Priscilla, I know you're signing up right now. Who's got a dream they want to tell? I want to know what your dream is. What do you want to achieve? How many people do you want to impact the rest of this year? You can look at the time. It's right there in the event on the page there. If you take a look at that, Pacific 4:30. In fact, July 19. It is 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 New York. One-time event. Yep. You see it there? Can you see it on the page? July 19, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 New York, and it'll go for, like I said, go for 4 hours. So Lynette, are you better off here with your expectations being smashed? Because, you know, if you expect that you're going to have to do some learning, it's not so bad. Does that feel better knowing now that people, including people like me, go through all these lumpy parts as well? Yeah, and you know, one other way to Carrie Brown, you want to help people with the COVID. One reason that so many people got so taken down by COVID is that their health was so bad to begin with. And not all reason, but some reasons. You know, many people had underlying conditions. Like, for example, they had, what do you call that sugar sickness, Vic, that people get?
Diabetes?
Yeah, diabetes. And they're like 30. What are you doing with diabetes at 30? Right? So helping people put them on the path to self-control, controlling their destiny with what they eat and what they drink and what they put in. Anything you can do with that is going to make a huge difference. Definitely make a huge difference. Because then, you know, you will be almost immune. And granted, there are going to be a few cases where people go, well, he never had anything and yada, yada, yada. But, you know, now it turns out that many of the people that have been vaccinated are worse off than they were before. So the number one defense against health is food. The kind of food that you eat, is it clean? When do you eat? How much do you eat? Right? And then, of course, the next whole big thing is going to be your movement and supplementation as you need it, obviously. And doing things to re-energize yourself that are not coffee and caffeine. And these are the things that really make a big difference. So if you're moved to do that, you know, Carrie, I think you're in some of our trainings, aren't you? Yeah. Right. That's kind of the story here. Yeah. And I you know, Annette, you want to reset your comments to, you want to reset your comments to all instead of just panelists so people can see your comments. Yeah, Denise, you're on your way to making your 6 to 10 grand a month. You're helping all these people with all these issues. Right? You guys want to hear a dice story? How many people want to hear my story of the dice? Throw in the dice, random dice and loaded dice. Who wants to hear? You tell me, Vic, otherwise we'll hang it up.
Oh no, there's a lot of yeses. They want it with all of them exclamation marks. So you better tell it.
Better tell it. Okay. Okay, so everybody knows what the event time is. You see it there on the 19th, 1:30 Pacific time, starts at 4:30 Eastern time, okay, New York time. And we have a members area where the stuff is going to be recorded, so you'll be able to get in there. The key thing is you make yourself available. I used to when I first went to MIT, I didn't know I was going to end up there because I started at Harvard, and then I decided, I like the techie people over there at MIT, and I was really in love with Noam Chomsky, who was teaching there at the time. And they said, okay, his classes are going to be whatever. I forget what it was. And my only question was, what do I have to cancel so that I can get to his class? That's all I ever thought. It was never, when's his class? Am I going to go? No. I only want to know what it is so I know what I have to cancel, because I won't be there. Whenever Noam Chomsky is speaking, I'm going to be there. If it's 3 a.m. and if it's in the local outhouse area on the park, I'm going to be there. Whatever it has to be, because that was a priority. Now, I know that for some of you, this is not a priority because you're not a priority for yourself in this way. But if you want to make something of yourself, then it doesn't matter what time it is. You come, because you can't do without knowing. And it doesn't need to be from me. This will get you started. You can find somebody else to guide you. We're not for everybody. Our sheep hear our voice, and we have plenty of them. But don't let the old, they say the devil's in the details, but according to somebody like Myron Goldman and T.D. Jakes, they say that, there's always that Satan in our heads, the devil in our head, so to speak, the bad guy, good guy. And the devil never says, don't do it. He's way too smart for that. You know what he says? Wait, do it tomorrow. And that's how T.D. Jakes and Myron Goldman and Billy Graham, that's how they tell you, that's how the devil gets you. You put it off tomorrow, next week, next month. And then suddenly one day you're 85. And then what's tomorrow going to be, right? So if you have any thought that maybe there's something in you, sign up. No matter what it is, cancel everything and be there, and then decide. That's my advice. Or you can keep putting it off. If you're okay the way you are, keep putting it off. But the devil does that. That's what the Satan does.
And Annette, I wanted to tell you you're driving. I just sent you a link to your Facebook.
Yep.
So you'll just look for that.
Yep.
All right, Kim.
Yeah, before those spots run out. Okay, the dice. I think we have 6 left now. So the dice. Okay, 70% dice. So here's the story on the dice. If you had a pair of dice and they were loaded, regular dice are, random. The loaded dice give you 70% chance of winning, right? So you have random dice or you have the 70% dice. Which dice would you rather have? Now, I know that is a stupid question, but go ahead and play because the next one will not be stupid. Which dice would you rather have? The loaded or the other ones? Want random or loaded? 70%. What do you got?
Loaded.
Everyone wants loaded. Okay. Now here's for the not retarded question. Okay. So why would you want this? Of course, because obviously, we know why. Now, what about this? Here's the one that requires a little brain power. They're going to sell the 70% dice because they notice, everybody's wanting these dice. I want 70% dice. Now they're going to sell them for $1,000. You have to $1,000 for the loaded dice. And here's the story. The random dice are free. The loaded dice are $1,000, right? And that gives you 70% guaranteed success rate, 70%, not 100, 70. So which dice would you want to play with now? Now, remember, you can use the dice as often as you want. You can use them as long as you want for any amount of money that you want, $1,000 per throw, $2,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever you want. But the dice are going to be $1,000, the loaded dice. So who wants what? You still want the loaded dice or the regular random dice? Let me see. Anybody besides Adriana? Good to see that you got that. Yep.
She's got it for loaded. Anybody else?
Anybody else? The rest of you guys just want the standard random dice?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we got here. So why would you want the loaded dice? Why would anybody want the loaded dice? What do you think? Certainty? Right? There's 70% certainty versus random. And what we want to do is we think that we can be your 70% dice. That is what we are to people. It's not 100% guaranteed success, but if you do the thing, you do what makes you become that better person inside and out, you have a 70% chance of making it instead of just a random chance of making it. And it's hard. Being in business without people around you that have been there before you, it's very difficult, because if the only people you talk to are the people that haven't made it before, that haven't been successful before, you're not going to get any advice that can help you get any further along, because nobody else is successful either, right? So this makes a big difference. And I just, want you to realize that you have many options, and we're hopeful that we can help you with this 4-hour session at a very small price relative. You all want to make $50,000-$60,000 in a year. If $247 can put you on the path to doing that, is that worth it or not? And if it isn't, then either you don't believe that we can help you do it, even though we've done it many times, or you don't believe that you can do it, or it's really not right for you in the first place, and you're okay to stay the way you are. That's okay too, right? Whatever works. So, because I want to end with a little poem here that Jesse Rittenhouse did. Some of you know that story. I bargained with life for a penny. Have you heard that? And life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. It's for all of you that are feeling poor, not enough money. What do I do? How do I do it? You're bargaining with life for a penny, right? Every night you sit there and you go, crap, what am I going to do? Life is just an employer. She gives you what you ask. So ask. Do a big ask. How can I impact 10,000 people in the next 5 years? And if all those people pay you $1,000, think of the income and the impact that you'll have. So ask big and then do big. That's what you want. You see, once you've set the wages, well, you must bear the task. Well, I'll just talk to one person a week and I'll sell my little $10 thing. Okay, great. Remember, you're going to get what you ask, right? So you discover you work for a menial's hire. That would be the stock shelf person, right? Only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid. So that's what we have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. And we are hopeful that we can help you with this particular 4-hour immersion to see if we can awaken your inner advisor, that you have in there. Because once you're seen as an advisor, everything changes. People line up and they expect to give you money. Who wants to be an advisor? Put advisor in the chat. Let me see. Donna, why don't you connect with Vicky? Get an update, because we have something that you might be interested in, because I know that you've bought stuff from us before. Do you see Donna May there, Vic? She should be there.
Yeah, we've been talking. So Donna May, you've got my cell, but I'll put it here again just in case.
Yeah.
So if you connect. Oops. Yep.
Okay. And Annette, you said me. What's the me? What was the me for? Yeah, I think we've chatted a little bit, Miss Annette. I think, don't you own a brick and mortar business or something like that? Yeah.
And Annette, you've got the link. I sent it straight to Facebook. Right?
Yeah, you can get yourself in there before it fills up. It'll fill up probably in the next couple of days. We'll have one more session like this to promote this before it's over. And then you'll have had a chance to get in there and see if this is something that because for Annette and for some of you that I've talked to before, the question is not what sells. No, the question is, what can I really get behind, because it matters to me. And it doesn't matter what it is. If you're behind it, there are people waiting for you to come and bring it to them and who want to pay you money. And if you do it through the network marketing business model, you can have tens of thousands of people that are using what you introduce them to all the way down the line and that's how people make hundreds of thousands of dollars every year and every month. So why not build up a giant movement? But a movement is something that you can get behind because you want to. You see? Everybody at that? Okay, are we good with everything? And Lynette, I think you set to go. I think you've talked to Vic, haven't you, Lynette?
No, Lynette's working with us now. She's in a program here. Yeah.
She's in it for, all right, girl. Well, the thing to do is if you're in anything of ours, come to the big demos that we're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously going to make a very big difference. And, it's the network marketing model is a lot harder to implement now with the 1950s and 60s methods. And for those of you that are feeling bad, like, well, I never made any money with it, I don't really know what to do. I'll just tell you one thing now, and the session's over. You guys can go whenever you want. But for those of you that care about history and why things don't seem to work today like they did in the 60s and 70s, I wasn't doing it then, but I read the history, right? And it's that when network marketing first got started, the company before Amway, Nutra something, I can't remember. But I can tell you this, when they had women talking about basic H, or, they were, what do you call those boxes of stuff that you clean clothes with, Vicky? There's a name, detergent.
Detergent, yeah.
Yeah.
Nature detergent. I think that's
right. And it was basic H was clean detergent. I believe Shackley makes that product to this day. And what they would do is the women would get together and have, say, tea or something, and there'd be 5 or 6 of them. And somebody would say, and this is still done today with Procter and Gamble, with a number of the major companies. And then one of the girls would say, I am using this basic H, and it's a very good product. And the reason I like it is it cleans clothes, let's say, and it's also environmentally friendly. And this guy, Dr. Shackley, invented it, but I really like it. And so here's the deal, girls. And they're all sitting there. She's telling about this detergent that she's using. She says, okay, so they tell me that if I get 5 people to buy it, that I get mine free. So I'm here to tell you that if you want to buy this, I'll get it free and you get the detergent, and I will help any of you. We can help each other get 5 people each, or 3, whatever number it was, so that we get ours free. And we all share values about, we want earth-friendly products, blah, 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 blah. That is quite a different appeal, would you say, than here I'm selling this to make 10 grand a month in 6 months. How many of you see the difference there? Difference. Put that in the chat. Say, let me see the word different. Different. Isn't that what that is? It's very different. It's very different. And they would help each other. They didn't care about who's in anybody's downline. Just get 5 so we get ours free, because we all want earth-friendly detergent, which was new in those days. Shackley discovered it, I don't know, in the 50s or however old that company is. That's what it was for. That's how they used friendships. Not to, say, I haven't seen you in 20 years, come and have a thing. And then you stick them with something, say, I got this great thing, you're going to love it. And then they say, oh, where do I get it? And, oh, here, use my code. And you don't reveal that you actually were there to sell them something, and that, the person feels used. You're right up front. Today, if I were going to pitch somebody, I'd say, you know what, I'd be doing this crazy ass thing for people who blah, 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 blah. People who, don't want to keep taking pills and all this stuff, who want to use energy, who want to be like what Tesla is to gas-powered machines, where gas had so many side effects, and electric doesn't have those environmental side effects. Well, this is like that to the remedies and medicines, which have so many unexpected side effects. So this is the clean version of that. You're like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool. And then you come see a demo. And it's like, oh, yeah. And they, it's not a big thing. But you see, when people get behind Tesla, they're movers and shakers because they care about the environment. When I got behind the water, I would get behind the water today if there were something I'd want to market. I mean, they have a lot of water filter companies, but at that time, that was the first one, and it was, affordable. But I would recommend almost anybody's water product today. And I would, if I were to market one, I would market it the same way. I would not use the brochure. What do I need the brochure for? Do you want the caca coming on you every day? Do you want to be bleached every day and spend $500 or $1,000 on skincare and have bleach on you every single day? Is that what you want? Then keep doing what you're doing. It's like, oh, well, which water filter are you selling? What do you care? Do you want the caca or not? I mean, and because I'm seen as somebody who knows about health and knows about looking halfway decent, even though I'm really up there in age, I jog every day, and we see people, half our age, they can barely walk down the block. It's like, what is with you, So it's all values, and your sheep will hear your voice, but you have to find something you're behind, where your soul and your heart, and you go, oh, if I could do that, that would be so cool. Then the money comes. It really does. So, all right, Vic, you got anything to add?
It's all beautiful, Kim. This was really, really good. And a lot of people are texting and sending me messages. So I think those spots are going to fill up. I think they're going to be full. So
yeah, it's a really important thing. And you just need to really decide what matters to you and use that formula: experience, feedback, and change to do.
yes.
And eventually you will get it so that your messaging with your market is there, and it's close to perfect, and they all hear your voice. It's like calling somebody's name, and there are 100 kids in the parking lot or in the merry-go-round or in the playground, and your kid's name is Henry, and you go, Henry, who's going to hear? Only Henry. And he comes running, and that's all you need. That's all you need. Remember, for your business, you need 1 or 2 drivers. So if you sponsor like 300 people and one of them's a driver, we know a guy who managed to, he reached out to 60 people every day. And you say, where'd you get all these people? Well, people are everywhere. So he would go walking down the street. He'd go to his little town. And you know how they have these benches where the buses are? And on many of those benches, you see a picture of somebody in real estate. Buy a house from so-and-so, or, Compass Real Estate, and there'd be some image of some guy or some woman. He would get all those names and phone numbers and call them all and say, hey, you're in real estate, you're an entrepreneur, right? Listen, if I could show you something, blah, 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 blah. And so he would do that 60 times a day. For 365 days, he did that. He'd never done network marketing before, and he was marketing this crazy product. Like most of them are kind of crazy, especially the good ones. And at the end of the year, now, somebody who does not know this story, don't give it away. Guess how many people he actually personally sponsored? How many people did he have in his organization? And how much money did he make at the end of his first year? He talked to 60 people a day. That means he called them up, left a message or said, blah, 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 blah. And these are the ways he got them. He used his phone book. Oh my gosh, he used his phone book. He went downtown, got all the names of everybody that were on the benches. And yes, you just go when you decide you're going to reach out to 60 people a day. There's nobody who decides that, who says, where are the people? Unless you're living in the desert. They're everywhere. Start walking, start talking, figure out a stretch. So he did this, and he managed to talk to 60 people a day, including referrals. And at the end of the year, does anybody know how many people he personally sponsored? Personally, out of all that? How many? Can anybody guess? Let's see if you can guess.
120 people, and that's guessing, and made $1 million.
Okay. Let me give you a slide right here so we can do this. Okay. Okay, so he talked to 60 people a day, 60 reach. Okay, let's see if we can get this. Reach outs per day. So that would be, he used phone calls. Okay. And remember, if you're telling me I don't know anybody, your head is not in it. Because if you say that, where's the, get the phone book? And if there's not a phone book, get an online phone book. There are tons of resources. You can call everybody in your neighborhood or in your town with your same last name. You just start calling, because it's a very interesting script that he used. But he did 6. So at the end of year 1, 60 reach outs per day for 365 days. Now, a lot of you are going to go way faster than this. This is something I would have done a few years ago. Today, we do 60 reach outs in 20 minutes. Boom. And we do not make all these calls. I can tell you that right now. But this is what he did, because this was 20 years ago. Okay, so
he's got 21,900 calls in 365 days. Donna's got it.
Donna's got it. Okay, up here, hang on.
21,900. I just checked, and she also checked.
Okay, so come on, I get rid of this. Okay, Yeah. Okay. So 60 reach out per day at the end of the year. What did you say? How many did he personally sponsor at the end of the year? Personals?
So, but first, his total calls for 365 days was 21,900 calls.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I never computed it, Kim, but that's how many calls.
Oh, is that Donna saying that? Okay.
Donna, I computed it right when she put it in chat. So Donna, I verify with you, 21,900 calls.
Oh God. Okay. Okay. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I bet. How many of you guys want to know what he did? Yeah, this is pretty cool. Okay, Donna, you said how many calls? 21,000?
21,900
900
calls.
Okay. For the year. Okay,
Yep.
next one. How many did he personally sponsor?
Nobody's answered that yet.
Okay, you want to guess?
2,000, Adriana says.
Yeah, you'd think, right? Out of 21,000,
Yeah,
you'd think it was 2,000. That's what I would have guessed, right?
That's what I would have guessed. Anybody else, just for fun? One more. Do a guess. Got to have one more.
Okay, so here's the number. Are you ready? Are you guys are going to just,
I mean, I was shocked, Kim, when I heard this. Really shocked.
Oh, yeah, Donna, you're close.
Mhm.
Annette, you're pretty close. You're pretty close. Let's see here. Let's see. One.
I know what it is, Kim. Do you?
Of course, I know what it is. I'm just
go.
teasing people. Yeah, I got this memorized, girlfriend. 1. Oh, you think it was more than 10? Yes or no? More than 10. Annette, more than 10? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What's the next number? Annette, what's the next number? Pick one.
0.
Denise, pick one. Almost. Pick another one. It comes after 7. Yeah, 8. So now watch this. So he personally sponsored. I'm going to color this so you all can see. Now I'm going to show you how much he made. Because you think this is something. Wait till you see this. I was blown away by this when he told us this. And I've known him for what, 10 years? I know he's okay. So he personally sponsored 108 people. Now, in his group size, what do you think that was? What do you think his group size was?
8,000, Denise says.
8,000. Well, not quite that big. I'll tell you right now. 1,800. What was it, Vicki? 1,803?
It was 1,803.
Yeah. 1,803. 1,803 people in his group. After all this, yo, do you see this? Is anybody ready to throw up? That's a lot of calls.
Really?
And he never missed a day. He did it every single day. So personally sponsored 108. Now I'm going to tell you how much he made, and you guys are going to flip. His group size was 1,803. This was year 1. This is the man whose organization now has 500,000 people. And he told me the other night, he said, Kim, every second or so, people are ordering, and I get paid every second. And I thought, oh, I know some people who want to do that, who get behind something, and the product does so much good. People are ordering every second, and you're making some money and making somebody happy every second of the day, whether you're awake or sleeping. Wouldn't you want that? How could anybody not want to have something so beautiful? All right. How much money he made at the end of his first year? Here it is. Okay. He earned. Okay.
And he had a goal, Kim. Remember his goal?
His what?
His goal. His goal was.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Very good. Okay. So his goal for first year earnings.
First MLM, first year earnings, his goal.
Okay. Okay, you can see this. All right, good. So his first year goal, his goal for first year earnings, let me tell you what they were. Who can guess what they were? This guy had been in real estate before and was somebody who helped lease shopping centers and things like that. That was his background. What did he want to earn for the first year? Anybody want to guess? What was his goal when he said, okay, I want to do this? It starts with a 1. Come on, guess, you guys. $1 million. Okay. His first year. Remember, he personally sponsored only 108
100,000,
people.
Ellen. Ellen says 100,000.
She's got it. Okay. That was his goal. His first goal, he said, was $100,000. That was his goal. What do you think he earned? You think he earned more than that or less than that? This will be the end, then we're going to hang up. Tell.
More. They're just saying more.
More. Okay. So here's what he earned the first year. That's what he earned first year. What do you think of this idea? You think this is a good number? $330,000 his first year. That's what he earned. And his big thing about this was that he thought it was the coolest thing in the world. In fact, I believe he compared it to something that was like Tesla, where none of the side effects that we've been experiencing all these years came with it. And yet the benefits were there. So benefits without side effects that everybody in the world knew about then and knows about today. So it's like having an alternative for gasoline without this, you know, the side benefit, the side effects, the negative side effects that we all know about, but yet it powers cars. That's the story. Is that worth it? Yes or no? You tell me. All right. Yeah, now I think we only have 3 spots left. So you guys better hustle if you want to get in here for the VIPs in particular. All right. So we are good to go. Hopefully you
That was
enjoyed
fun.
this.
I like the guessing game.
Yeah, it's totally fun. But isn't this something? So, you know, 21,000 calls, and you think, my God, that's a lot of calls. And the one of the people who's earned the most money in the consulting business, he helps this guy, Alex Formosi, $100 million is what he's doing now per year, helping people start gyms, you know, like physical gyms. And he said, one of the biggest things entrepreneurs don't realize is what the numbers really are. If somebody will tell you, oh, just talk to 3 people and you'll get rich. Right. His was 21,000 calls. 21,000. Do you see how many calls that is? I mean, that's like a lot of calls. 60 a day. Some of you do 1 a month. And you want to know, how come I didn't make any money? Well, that's why. The numbers, he said when he first did his first business, to build a gym, he said he had a mentor who told him, go and put posters on telephone poles. This was 25 years ago when people still did that. And so he said, okay, I'll do that. So he put posters, and about a month later, he ran into this mentor, and the mentor said, well, how did it go? And he said, well, I not particularly good. And he said, well, how many posters did you, I mean, how many, you know, flyers on telephone poles? And he said, well, I put out about 300 last month. And the guy said, well, that's why it didn't work. And Alex said, well, why? What do you mean why it didn't work? 300, that's a lot of them. And he said, I put out 150,000 a month. 150,000. And he had a huge operation. So he thought, Alex Formosi, look him up online. He has fantastic trainings on this particular thing, how to build gyms. And he said, you know, we think 300 was a lot, but entrepreneurs have no idea what the numbers really are to get it off the ground. And I'm here to tell you, 60 calls a day to people that you know or you don't know, even taking the phone book. You could take the phone book and it would take you all year to go through the whole thing. And you wouldn't be pleasant, but you know, you'd get some numbers. You probably sponsor 108 people. your group would probably be 1,800 people, and you'd probably have $100,000 to $300,000 in earnings. Would that be worth it to you if it were something that you really could get behind? And of course, guess what? All these experiences that he had certain feedback, and he adjusted what he did so the next experience would be better. And now he's a master caller. Oh my gosh, he's like a hot knife through butter. You tell him, stop talking because I'm already sold. He's that good. But after 21,000 calls, how good would you be? And that was his first year. All right. Okay, cool. All right. We are going to call it a day. It's been fun though.
Oh, this was
You
great.
guys enjoy this? Yeah. Good, good. All right, Donna, I hope to see you, but do connect with Vic because I think I remember you and I'm really happy to see you here. And let's connect up. It's been a while.
You bet. I'll reach out to you, Donna, or you reach out to me. Okay.
And Vic, we'll connect after. Thanks, you guys.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.